LynxDesigner is a platform that helps you manage your complete engineering toolchain. In this short demo, I will focus on LynxDesigner's model-based low-code capabilities that helps you develop an OSLC interface for one of your engineering applications. I will demonstrate an end-to-end integration use case where we help a requirements engineer create a traceability links from a requirement in Doors NG to a change request in JIRA. We support this use case through the use of delegated user interfaces. In such an approach, the client application, Doors in this case, embeds the user-oriented pages from JIRA that allows the engineer to search, select, and preview information from JIRA. All this without the need to ever synchronize or copy data from JIRA into Doors. I will here assume you are knowledgeable of the REST API of your application. On this link, you can find needed information about JIRA's REST API. We are interested in making these API calls to search issues, get a single issue, search for projects, get a single project. The very first step is to create a modeling project. This is where you will manage the model of both the OSLC interface and the information model. Inside the project, I create a toolchain. Next, I should design the information model and define the type of resources my applications will exchange. This can be done in the same model, here under the specification diagram. But in this case, I don't want to develop the model from scratch. I will instead import the standard OSLC domains, which I already defined in this other project. In our case, we will be working with the change management and requirements management domains. So I want to visualize these by dragging and dropping them into my local model. Now you see the types of resources available, their properties, and the relationships between them. Once I have the information model, I go back to the toolchain diagram where I define my applications. I will create the JIRA application and start designing its services. I will create services for change request resources. I'll choose query capabilities selection dialogs. I also want to be able to read and update change requests. Now I can see these operations here in the diagram. You can configure these operations further through the properties window here. In particular, you can see the URLs and configure them for both the instances of your change requests, but also for their operations, such as queries. At this point, the model contains all the necessary information to define the OSLC interface. The next step is to model the REST connection to JIRA. This helps LynxDesigner produce the necessary code to connect to the source, JIRA, and obtain the data. I now configure this REST source to match the JIRA settings. For example, I here set the base URL, which can be extracted from the documentation. I also specify that the JIRA produces JSON as a data format. I will connect the services to the source. Again, based on the JIRA documentation, I will set this URL pattern to make it query to JIRA. I also connect the web service that reads and deals with a single change request to the same source. To make it all work, we need to provide the parameters for the OAuth2 authentication. So I will add OAuth2 authentication to my configuration here. We save the model, and now we're ready to generate the Java project. The generator has created a completely separate Java project, so I will now import that project into LynxDesigner. Now we only need to decide in the code how data from JIRA, in our case an issue, translates to a change request, which is what I modeled my interface to expose. This is done in this class, issue to change request. There are two methods that I need to implement, namely the transform resource method. How do I translate the issue object from JIRA to a change request, which is what I'm expecting of the interface, and the transform ID method. How do I translate the identifiers between the issue objects from JIRA to the URLs of the change requests? Similarly, I need to transform from a set of issues to a set of change requests. This is called when serving a query request. Here are the two methods that I need to implement. Now my interface is ready to run. We will put this to the test by integrating our interface with IBM Doors. Here I want to create a traceability link from a requirement to a JIRA change request. I will choose the relevant requirement in Doors. I will then create a link from that requirement to an external JIRA issue. Once selected, I can now also hover over that link to have a preview of the item from within Doors. I hope you now got an overview on how to use LynxDesigner to provide OSLC capabilities for your engineering application. I specifically showed how it's done for a typical application that has a REST API, but LynxDesigner is more versatile and can accommodate other types of APIs. LynxDesigner is also more than that. It helps you manage your complete engineering environment when it comes to modeling the overall environment architecture, the information model of the artifacts you are sharing across your applications. If you want to find out more, give LynxDesigner a try, or discuss integrations in general, please contact us.